Today I'm going to talk to you about using React, as a front end for your framework, and how to be more productive using React without having to write, all the same stuff over and over that you're going to have to always write, such as headers or forms or making HTTP requests, image upload, stuff like that. Anything that can be reused, which that's what's good about React is you can reuse components, through, across one project to another. But this project here is it's a thing I found off of YouTube. Another guy was doing it, and so I followed along with the tutorial and made, what he done, and then I'm just refactoring everything to use. Let me show you what it does. Where's it at? Here, if you browse, where are they at? Here, put an invoice in. Well, hold on, I gotta do this course thing. Send that off to the back end, which the tutorial was using React for a front end, AWS, and S3 buckets, and Lambda functions with Node and Python to do this, to get this data out of the invoice, and it's just using Lambda functions to AWS has a service called a text track, which extracts text out of an image, and that seems anyway. So I'm just redoing it to put Node on the back end and use Tesseract JS, and then write regular expressions to pull all this data and then populate the form, and then let users log in and save the invoice, in their own files so they can have them. But I'm going to talk about reusing, like this form here is coming from this use form hook, and if I go down here to my shared components and go to hooks, you can see, let me get off of here, you can see I got a auth hook for logging in, getting the JWT token, storing the token, putting a timer on it, everything. I got a form hook, which is for forms, so I can do everything with the forms that I need to do with this hook right here. Got a HTTP hook, which lets you make HTTP requests with fetch, and you just export this function. Everything you do is inside this function, and then it makes everything else easy to do. Like if I go here to this buyer form that I got, which this is just for the image, so I won't have to send the image off to the Node.js backend, run it through Tesseract JS. I'm going to take this image, send it back in, store the image, and then run the image through Tesseract JS, get the information out of it to populate these fields right here, and then save it. And every user will have their own dashboard. I just haven't got there yet because I just started putting it together this morning. And there'll be like a buyer card and a seller card. I know it's on the same page, but I'm just making it right now, so it's not really done or anything. I just wanted to show you how you can be more productive with your React, making components and projects in general. And then these form elements, like these buttons, image upload, inputs, all of these are just, I just copy from one project to another. When I need so every project that I have that has any kind of forms or any kind of thing like that, I just bring this input into it, copy it and paste it into this file. Same thing with the image upload. I just have this file in another folder, which is got it somewhere in here. Projects, snippets. No, that's not it. Well, where's it at? Snippets. React. Here I got a folder of validators, which is just some validation days for form validation. Have hooks, which is those auth hooks, and form hook, HTTP hooks. Form elements, which got the button, image upload, input. And I got other snippets for other things, that just stuff that's used all the time that can be reused across projects. Just put it in a file and copy and paste it into your code. I mean, there's so many more hooks that could be made. I got in navigation. This is the same navigation that I use on every project that I do. It's got the same. I mean, I changed the colors and stuff like that, but the header and everything is always going to be the same. And the side drawer, and do that with portals. So so every project on that is the same too. Where I got let me see, public. Where I got these portals here for the backdrop, modals, drawer hooks. I got a modal file. It's just got different kind of modals in it. So every time I need a modal for a project, I just go to my snippets folder and find a modal and put it in my project. And doing this also cuts down on, like, if you got a form hook that you can reuse over and over, it's going to cut down on having to use third-party libraries all the time. Like Formic or what's some other ones, Redux Form or anything like that. Because if you got your own validations and everything, then there's no sense in downloading a third-party package if you don't have to. It just makes your project bigger and more bloated than it has to be in the first place. So I just thought that that could be useful to know. And I'm using styled components here, which I generally use styled components for the most part. I don't really use CSS a whole lot, except for like these buttons and stuff have CSS because they're like I said, I keep all those in a file, so they're already pre-made. I'm not going to remake them with styled components, because then buttons have a lot of different like active classes and hovers and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I thought that would be useful.